Alright, welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today we've got the new reveals for the skirmish games. So if you didn't check out those reveals, we'll have a individual video on each of the new skirmish game reveals, but otherwise you can go ahead and check that out on Warhammer Community as well. So that being said, if you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe for reactions, reviews, news, and then of course lots and lots of painting, modeling, and conversion tutorials for pretty much all of the GW tabletop war games. So we have revealed that Warcry carves its way into the gnarled heart of Ghur in a new edition. So when I put out the video and kind of speculated that it was going to be a new edition, there was quite a bit of pushback from the community. I could tell people were getting a little bit defensive or emotional in the comment section, but it was pretty clear with the logo changes and setting change that was the direction they were going in. Also the amount of time that went by. Obviously, the update book was delayed. It was supposed to come out in 2022, so we actually got that book in 2023. So essentially, it got less than 6 months worth of play out of it, which is unfortunate. But Warcry doesn't suffer from the same rules or book bloat as many of the other games do. So I don't think it's as much of a case. I understand people are a little hesitant towards a new edition, but we just assume that the new edition will be better and that they're not going to ruin any of the stuff that makes Warcry so good. So that being said, let's take a deeper look into these. We've already seen the Warbands revealed, or at least some of the models, but now we have the setting and everything. And then, of course, confirmation. It is a new box game and new edition. The wars that rack Ghur have shifted into the endless tunnels that wind beneath the weather-blasted plains of Ghur. But while the focus in Warhammer Age of Sigmar may have shifted from Thondia, plenty of warbands are still battling for treasure and glory in the great forests in the new edition of Warcry. The Gnarlwood is a vast, verdant, yet inhospitable land full of terrifying predators and overgrown carnivorous plants, in which the flame-wreathed horns of Hasut clans with the noxious guerrilla fighters of the Rotmire Creed. And there we have the box. Again, we can see, the very clear change to the overall aesthetic of the logo and everything. Warcry Heart of Ghur is a new box game introducing a new edition of Warcry. It brings exciting changes, a new narrative focused on the violence erupting in the Gnarlwood as desperate factions are drawn there by the great power within. So here we see the board with everything on it. We'll get a little closer look here. The Rotmire Creed butt heads with the horns of Hasut and a string of bloody melees. These purveyors of plagues and putrefaction stalk the swamps and forests of Ghur, kidnapping unwary warriors to experiment on their pursuit of putrid immortality. So these guys are sort of like a swamp cult, that worships the kind of Nurgle thing going on there. So pretty cool. This leader is pretty awesome. He has a stick with a hook on it and a rope, and then some sort of crazy weird, bamboo syringe injector. And then he's standing on some stilts that you would imagine would be sinking into the swamp. And then again, he has some bamboo armor. Pretty cool looking model to me. We have another one here with a skull face and a blowgun. Again, I really like the aesthetic of these. They're like nothing we've seen in the game. Obviously, they have a little bit of a Nurgle-esque vibe to them. Again, here we see the two-handed sort of hook. Sort of similar to a fishing pole, but it looks like you're fishing for something aggressive, including another person. Again, with the blowguns. Cool aesthetic between the bones and the bamboo. I really like them. You can see they have some flesh sores and disease, and they have wood armor instead of traditional. Here again we see the Stilts Walker. Really nice looking models. Really nice. Very cool. I like them. This guy's got a big net with some hooks on it. A couple close combat weapons. Again, here we see the skull. These guys have a couple of shields. Good looking stuff. It's the perfect blend of sort of organic material and armor / handcrafted stuff. So yeah, I really like them. I think they look great. Nice models. In direct opposition to these filthy footpads are the horns of Hasut. You may have encountered them before. These cultists are desperate to raise the greenery of Ghur to make way for the forges of their masters. And they've got a flamethrower. So these guys definitely remind me of like the aesthetic for the corpse grinder cult for Necromunda. They're pretty cool overall. Again, much more into like the metallic and fire. Nice looking models. We've already seen this Warband, obviously. They've got their flamethrower. Very cool. Sort of like the bull helmets. But again, definitely have the aesthetic of like muscles and armor that the corpse grinder cult have in Necromunda. Nice looking models. I like them. They're sort of like, slave guys are a little bit meh. But they're probably supposed to. I'm sure they are much weaker in the game. But pretty cool overall. I like them. These two warbands are battling over esoteric artifacts found in the Ravening Ruin. The crucible of life energy formed around the Realm Shaper engine of a crashed Seraphim temple ship named Talaxis, creating a ferocious forest, which is beautifully represented by a brand new set of finely detailed terrain. So here we see the beautifully finely detailed terrain. Alright, I wanted some more organic terrain. So we got that, which is cool. I'm still not sure how I feel about this. I need some time to kind of take it in. So it looks pretty cool. A little cartoony, aesthetic-wise for me. But it could be the paint job, too. So I'm really not sure. But a definite mix of trees and bone. Organic terrain, which is what I was hoping for. I just need some time to take it in. This hit for me a lot like the Necromunda Ash Waste terrain did, where it kind of grew on me over time, so hopefully this does too. We see first like a big tree with a giant skull in it, and it's sort of like a lookout post. And then we see some of the scatter terrain, a combination of like ruins and trees, the bamboo and skulls. Fits the aesthetic pretty good. Again, lots of like the scatter terrain, combination of ruins and trees, skulls and trees. Bamboo, sort of like bridges. There's 3 main other tree parts after like the first one with the skull in it. They have a series of like rocks and pads and everything. Again, I really got to get my hands on this and see it. It looks really cartoony in these paint jobs, but I suspect it's like the actual paint job that's been done to this and not as much the actual terrain. Sort of like a skull being grown in here. Again, more like bamboo stuff. It's sort of a blend between the ash waste terrain with like the elevated kind of like walkways and stuff. And I don't know. It's not bad. It just takes some time, I think, to grow on us. It sort of reminds me of the last Warcry terrain. Which was like, obviously the rocks and like all the sluices and everything, like mining stuff. I don't know. We'll see. This box contains everything you need to play, including dice, tokens, cards, measuring sticks, a double-sided gaming board, a new core rulebook, Rot and Ruin campaign book detailing the skirmishes between the 2 warbands. And obviously it comes with the 2 warbands as well. So we got the core book. The Rot and Ruin book, so that's not good. Already going double books again. One thing nice about this game was that it was always like 1 or 2 books to play with. It isn't just the warriors of destruction and decay that are drawn by the Ravening Ruin. Every warband and faction wants a shot at seizing the forbidden treasure Talaxis offers. So you'll be able to get involved with these beastly battles no matter which force you favor. So obviously everything will be usable in the new edition. See, here we see kind of like a little more build up with like the buildings and some ground floor and then some buildings and then like the bridges and everything going between. Now, obviously this is not really playable because of the steepness of it, but definitely shows you the potential that you have to like build a pretty cool like raised kind of ruin setup. Just one part of our Warhammer preview online, so obviously there's a bunch of other stuff that came. See, here's my issues. When I look at this board, there's not really like a ton to it. I mean, cover is not really the same in Warcry, not as necessary. So being able to like move freely and have random barricades and stuff is a little bit better. Shooting is very strong but less prevalent in the game. And obviously being mobile is very, very important. So I think overall, well received by me. I do like it. 2 large trees that you can kind of build off of. And then this one has the step between the smaller level and the higher level. Here we have just like the mid or higher level. And then this one again is kind of like a step up from the ground level to the mid level. And then you get like 3 of the big rope bridges and 1 small one. Quite a bit of scatter terrain. Doesn't look like there's any duplicates in the scatter terrain. No, that's not right. Here's a duplicate right here. Here's a duplicate right here. Here's a duplicate right here. So there's 2 sprues of the same scatter terrain in the set. And then there are 4 different sprues of this. And then it looks like 1 sprue of the sort of bamboo walkways. And then obviously you'll have your 2 gangs, dice cards, tokens, and then 2 books. Overall, nice set. Cool. I definitely like the look of it. Again, always takes a little time to kind of take it in, especially when you find out there's going to be a new edition. I think overall, though, it's good. Warcry's been around for a few years now. There's quite a bit of different games and rules and stuff that has come out. So to kind of get it all like packed back into like a single edition for what you need with the updated like stats, points, etc. is a good idea. Hopefully there's no drastic changes. I really like how the game plays. It's very fun, easy to pick up and play. Doesn't take a ton of time with setup. But it is strange. They recently just brought back like the Warcry cards. So I wonder if that was sort of just a test run. Like the terrain cards and stuff like that for this edition. And it does say it comes with the cards. So we shall see. Definitely exciting, I think, overall. Again, always a little pushback about changes to a game as people are comfortable with how it was and everything. But, you know, I like to think that with the changes will come improvements. So I do like that they did the organic terrain. It sort of reminds me of the kind of like skull and spikes terrain of like the initial Warcry. Without all the ruins, you get just like a little bit more of like the bamboo-y stuff. But overall, cool. I think I like it. Tokens and cards, yep. So yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Let me know what you think down below. Are you excited for this? Are you surprised that it's a new edition? Were you kind of expecting it? I've heard a little bit of pushback about some of the Warbands so far. I think the terrain looks great. Got to see it with a regular paint job, not a GW paint job. I do like the Horns of Hasut guys. They're not necessarily like my favorite Warband suddenly, and I'm just like obsessed with them. But they're cool and they're different. And then the Rotmire Creed, again, very cool, very unique. I like them. I think these are probably one of the most unique Warbands. And I definitely like the mix of like kind of like bone, bamboo, and swamp. So very cool. Big fan of both Warbands. The terrain looks cool. It is definitely different, which is #1 priority. I was hoping for a little more like regular kind of tree stuff, but you know what? We'll take it. This has got like a little more of like a chaos kind of slope to it. I think this is perfect for like your swamps and everything. This terrain would be cool in something like Dungeons and Dragons as well. It's also very unique for other games. So I could see you making your way into, you know, Sigmar with something like this. I could see it making cool boards for Kill Team potentially even. Very cool overall. So I would say awesome. Definitely excited. Obviously really enjoy Warcry and Skirmish. So hopefully this will be a nice entry point for new players and then also a great expansion point for existing players. But if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, and some Horus Heresy content. At least one video every single day, reactions, reviews, news, or check out our painting, modeling, and conversion tutorials. Lots of cool stuff and resources for the community. But that's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man. Make sure to like and subscribe, share the video with your friends, and let me know what you think down below. And I'm out of here.